All right, welcome back to our podcast. Our channel, our show, the adult version of a millennial men's vlog, whatever you want to call it. Welcome. We're here. It is Alex. It is Johnny. We are going to be reviewing our league mates teams in the draft we just did recently. So that includes Garrett, Nolan, Adrian, just to name a few. We're going to be looking at their teams round by round and just kind of giving a brief analysis on it and just to give our opinions as to what the hell our friends were thinking and what kind of positive tips or comments that we can make for their teams and their picks at each position and in each round. So let's get to it. First of all, how are you today, John?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I just took a big shit, so I'm feeling pretty good, pretty relaxed. My nose is a bit sniffly right now, so
Cleared
hopefully
the body,
it
flushed it
doesn't.
out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Take a shit and then get all snifflies. That's weird how that works. So if you're looking at my screen right now, I have a draft grade of a C minus. Projected record 0-14.
No.
Projected finish 12. Last place. So that's just whatever. Like my overall kind of rating on this NFL fantasy app is fairly poor, like a 2 out of 5 stars, and that's being generous, I think. Just after the last couple of years, we've had issues with the draft and how the draft board is set up. The kind of freezes during the draft, etc. But nonetheless, we're here just to look at our teams. I'm going to head over to draft recap, and I'm going to go to results. And here are all 12 picks of the first round. So nothing really much to say here in my opinion. Christian McCaffrey, David picked him first. That was my only right prediction compared to what he actually... my only right prediction compared to what I predicted in the mock draft prediction episode that we just did a couple of days ago. John, yourself, you took Dalvin Cook.
Pretty easy.
Morgan took Alvin Kamara. Oh my
Taylor.
God, this is going to confuse the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Taylor took Derrick Henry. So I'm going to stop here at Aaron Jones and say this was a little bit of a surprise to me that Nolan took Aaron Jones here. Aaron Jones at 5th overall. I was definitely expecting me to wind up with him, but Nolan kind of quasi-sniped me right before. Not really much of a snipe. I'm absolutely fine with Ezekiel Elliott, but I was really thinking I was going to get Aaron Jones and then kind of build my team around Aaron Jones the rest of the way. So now that I have, or since I started with Ezekiel Elliott, I was not going to think about drafting CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, even Dak Prescott. So it kind of right away changed the scope of how I was going to draft the rest of the way. So nonetheless, I ended up with Ezekiel Elliott. Sam took Devontae Adams, which is pretty solid. Austin Eckler, that was another little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too, for sure, from Adrian. I thought definitely he would take Kelsey, or not that there's nothing wrong with Eckler. I love Austin Eckler, especially at 8, but I'm definitely surprised Adrian took him. But it's a great pick.
Yeah, like you got Travis Kelsey, Nick Chubb, Barkley, a couple other guys, right? That you'd think, you would consider them maybe a little bit higher in terms of ADP. But Adrian took Austin Eckler there. So
You're surprised that Sam took Adams there and not a running back?
Not really.
More surprised now. Did you think about taking Adams there at 6?
I would not have taken Adams there. No, I try to stick to my usual my usual strategy, and that's double running back.
Yeah.
I need to do that, or else I don't look at my team later on and feel that confident about it. So
I was talking to Sam. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was talking to Sam before everyone showed up to the draft party, and he showed me a list of 5 or 6 players he was debating picking that he knew would be there for him at 7, and on the list was Devonta Adams, Austin Eckler, Kelsey, Nick Chubb, and Jonathan Taylor, and he didn't seem pretty decided on who he was going to pick, and he got Taylor in the second round after picking Adams in the first round, so he got a pretty good 1-2 pick.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll kind of trickle in. Travis Kelce, good one for Garrett to get. 9th overall.
For sure.
For whatever reason, I thought maybe Travis Kelce would come back to me in the second round, but I guess I underestimated our league mates. Katie taking Stephon Diggs, Nick Chubb for Kelly, and then pretty good for Ian to get Saquon Barkley at the end of the 12th.
For sure.
He's still a stud running back, not for the greatest offense. You kind of got to trust Daniel Jones and whoever their head coach is, if you want to trust Saquon Barkley. But to get him at the end of the 12th as your RB1, that's incredible value still. We'll head on over to round 2.
Now, there were some surprising picks in this round, I would say. Personally, I can pick rather 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 picks I didn't expect to happen that happened. Not that they were bad picks by any means, but Hopkins going before Tyreek Hill, I definitely did not expect. Ian must be doing some further researching we don't know about to pick Hopkins there. That's a good pick, but Najee Harris as well. I didn't think Kelly would have taken him at 14. Maybe I'm just underestimating our league. I don't know, and then Josh Allen going to Katie, going before Mahomes, also really surprised me. But she has the Allen Diggs stack, which is awesome and will be exciting every week to watch. But I was just more shocked that Hopkins went before Hill, and Harris went before Gibson or Mixon. But yeah, time will tell.
Yeah. Pick number 17 overall. You want to give a little shout out there to yourself?
Oh yeah, I did pick Mixon on Adrian's behalf in our mock draft episode. I remember I was excited when he picked him. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Sam taking Jonathan Taylor right after. Yeah, I guess he's pretty happy with that pick.
For sure.
Me right after, I took Antonio Gibson. I'm coming around more and more to the Washington offense with Ryan Fitzpatrick and their defense as well. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. I think they could end up with a winning record. So we'll see. That wasn't one of my bold predictions, but I'm feeling really confident with the Washington offense this year.
Absolutely.
Next, Nolan, FF Doom.
Yeah.
Of course, he takes his running back, David Montgomery. That was a little bit of a reach. Normally, you see David Montgomery going in the 3rd round, but he wanted his guy for his favorite team in Chicago Bears. So good for him.
I would have taken him with my 3rd pick if he was there. So he's smart to take him if he wanted him, because he definitely would not have made it back to him.
Taylor taking Calvin Ridley, no surprise there. Morgan with Darren Waller at the end of the 2nd round, closer to the end of the 2nd round. And then what was going through your head when you were thinking about Patrick Mahomes?
My heart was racing when you picked, because I had a feeling no one would take. I don't know why I had a feeling he'd take Montgomery, but I did, and turns out he did. And I saw Calvin Ridley and Darren Waller, the 2 picks in front of me. I wanted Waller. I would have loved to have Ridley at the end of the 2nd round, but Taylor, rightfully so, great pick, took him, and then Morgan snipes me early, snipes me quick, took Darren Waller because I definitely would have taken him. I did a draft with Morgan 2 nights ago, and again he took Darren Waller right in front of me, so very frustrating. So at that point, Mahomes always been in my head to have him. I've never had him. It's I think a huge advantage to have a top five quarterback. You're just guaranteed a 20 to 25 point plus performance every week. Just don't have to worry about it. Set it and forget it.
Yeah.
So that definitely enticed me. And then I looked at the other names that I would have drafted. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's hurt. I don't have as much faith in him this year. AJ Brown, Metcalf, Jefferson. I didn't want to have Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. I don't want to have a run-heavy offense stack with the receiver and the running back personally, even though Jefferson's going to be great. I looked at Keenan Allen, but ultimately I knew that I would be totally cool with one of those six. And I absolutely for a fact knew that Vandy would have taken Mahomes if I didn't take him. And I didn't want him to have McCaffrey and Mahomes. I wanted to have him with Cook, so fuck it. I took Mahomes. I'm excited about it.
Well, I guess I can blame you for my lack of accuracy in the prediction, because in our mock draft episode where we were predicting our teams, I had Vandy take Patrick Mahomes at that spot.
Right, exactly.
So I kind of looked at you there and I'm like, what are you doing, man?
My bad.
We're going to play around with the soundboard here. Vandy, what do you have to say about that? There we go. Sorry, what was that, Dave? Okay. Thanks for that. So I don't know how many times he forgot to draft his second player in a row, but
at least 5 times. Vandy, you're on the clock. Vandy, you're on the clock. Vandy, you're on the clock.
What a silly boy.
Yeah.
But he ended up with Clyde at the end of the second, which is pretty solid. Getting Christian McCaffrey and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, holy. He's definitely got the backfield on his fantasy team locked up. Yep. Picking AJ Brown right after that. No surprise there, really. James Robinson for you in the early third. DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson for me. These are all guys, no real surprises here. Chris Carson for Sam, CeeDee Lamb for Adrian. Garrett made all kinds of unusual picks this draft. So Kyler Murray, that's not really unusual in the third, but good for him for taking the second quarterback off the board. No, that would be third, actually. Sorry, third.
Yeah, I wanted Kyler Murray I wanted Kyler Murray really bad as my quarterback, and I knew he wouldn't get back to me in the fourth round, which is another reason why I also took Mahomes, because I think there's a bit of a quarterback run that it starts here now.
It's possible, yes. If this app was a little bit better, I'd be able to see the whole draft board, but I can't.
Insert sleeper app advertisement.
Yeah. Katie taking Josh Jacobs. Yeah, that's okay there at the 34th pick overall. Kenny Drake being in town, I don't think Kenny Drake's going to make that much noise and take away from Josh Jacobs that much. So I think JJ at the 34th overall pick, end of the third, is pretty good value for Katie.
Yep.
Kelly, how you doing? Sorry, hang on a second. That's not Kelly. Here you are.
I can't feel no better.
Okay.
Do you have one for each of us?
Okay, right on. Yeah, I'm trying to do something like that. Yeah. So, sorry, what was that, Kelly?
I can't feel no better.
Okay, right on. Good stuff. Yeah, nice to hear your voice. George Kittle taking that third rock solid tight end. George Kittle, sure. I've never really been excited for George Kittle. I haven't taken him anywhere in any mock drafts. He's considered one of those elite tight ends, but he's my least favorite of the three. I would even prefer just super late round tight ends instead of spending up on George Kittle in the second or third. So Good for you, Kelly, for taking him.
I can't feel no better.
Yeah, okay. Good job. Ian, DeAndre Swift to close out the third. Okay, yeah, starting running back for one of the shittiest teams in NFL probably. To complement his, God damn it, this fucking draft board. What was his first one? Saquon Barkley. So he's got Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Hopkins, DeAndre Swift, and he took Robert Woods to start the fourth. Right on. Great value there. Actually, I shouldn't say great value there. Just a great pick there to go with DeAndre Hopkins. You have that super great big play ability of DeAndre Hopkins, and then you have that safe floor with Robert Woods. I like Ian's team so far with his picks. You want to break down this round 4?
Sure. So Bobby Woods goes to Ian. As you said, that's a great wide receiver 2 to have in your team. That's actually better than my wide receiver 1, arguably, because at this point in the draft, I still don't have a receiver, I don't think. Lamar Jackson to Kelly, just filling out that squad's good. So she has Kittle, Jackson, Najee Harris, and who am I missing here? Letting down the George Kittle, Jackson, Chubb, Nick Chubb, right on. Yeah, that's a great squad. Godwin, Katie, Thielen, I was a bit surprised by, as was I with Brandon Cooks. I thought McLaurin or Cooper or Evans or Deontay Johnson would go before them, but I can definitely see why Garrett would want Adam Thielen, all the touchdowns. Brandon Cooks is the only relevant name on Houston, so I can definitely also understand that. Sam, super lucky, I think, to get Amari Cooper in the middle of the 4th round. Before Dak went down, I think Cooper was just like a top 5 guaranteed receiver. So to get him in the mid-4th, I was definitely praying he'd fall to me at that point in the draft. And then you got Terry McLaurin, also halfway through the 4th round. That's just crazy to go with Antonio Gibson. So yeah, you must have quite a lot of faith in that offense. But I think they're playing from behind enough. They have a good defense. I think it should be a good year for Washington. A second Tampa Bay Buck receiver, Mike Evans, going to Nolan, I think. Yeah, Nolan. And then Taylor, god damn it. Taylor takes Julio Jones. I thought Morgan for sure here was going to take Deontay Johnson just because I'm used to Morgan sniping me, and I think it made sense at the time for him to take a receiver there, but it also, of course, makes sense he took a quarterback in Russell Wilson of that caliber there, so Wilson went to him. I was so nervous, I was sweating, waiting for him to make that pick, and I just instantly picked Deontay Johnson as my wide receiver 1. Maybe I'm too high on him, I don't know, but I'm super stoked to have him. He should get a lot of targets there. Same could be said for DJ Moore, though. I mean, he's supposed to be elite, just waiting for those touchdowns to come. He has a better quarterback now, hopefully, so that's a good pick by David. And that is the 4th round.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks. That seemed like a very huge reach there. Brandon Cooks his ADP overall is 99.
Really?
Yeah, according to the Draft Wizard from Fantasy Pros. So people going just ahead of him: Tyler Boyd, Smith-Schuster, Cortland Sutton, Robbie Anderson, Jerry Jeudy, Claypool, T. Higgins, all the way up to Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp, Julio Jones, DJ Moore. So Adrian took Brandon Cooks over all of those guys. So that was a pretty big surprise to me. Adam Thielen. Where's Adam Thielen in the mix
Garrett
there?
At 40.
Yeah, Garrett got him at the 40th overall pick, so his ADP overall is 51, going around Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp. So yeah, that was I guess the things I've been hearing about Adam Thielen, like I don't think Kirk Cousins will be able to support 2 fantasy relevant wide receivers as much. Adam Thielen's getting much older now, so he's definitely on the decline in his career, and I think to take him in the early 4th to spend up on him there is a little bit too much for me. My pick, Terry McLaurin. Yeah, like I didn't intend on getting Gibson and McLaurin. I really didn't want to see McLaurin there. I probably I guess even if Amari Cooper fell right there, because he went right in front of me, Sam took him. If Amari Cooper fell to me there, I would have Ezekiel Elliott and Amari Cooper, or I have Gibson and Terry McLaurin. I couldn't pass up on Terry McLaurin there. Even though it didn't feel right, taking him because I had Gibson, that limits my upside. I did not want Mike Evans because I was hoping to get Brown later in the draft, but I didn't. Julio Jones is just too much of a risk there, so Terry McLaurin mid-4th round is perfect for me.
You don't like Julio there?
Not really. No.
Why not?
He's getting old. He's injury prone. I'm looking for those young guns, really. So.
I get that. A lot of vacated targets in Tennessee, though. Losing Corey Davis, Johnny Smith. Should get a good amount of volume, but as a Falcons fan and a Julio Jones fan, I obviously understand what you said, the injuries. He's always questionable. Literally, every week he's questionable. Every week.
Well, I am cheering for Julio and AJ Brown, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll head over to round 5. Actually, just to close out round 4. Okay, David took DJ Moore, right on for him there. And then Gus Edwards to start the 5th. I've already been trying to trade Gus Edwards for him. I kind of gave him some crappy offer, and then he bounced back, and he's trying to get Allen Robinson from me for Edwards.
You're trying the old 4 quarters for $1 trick, are you?
Yeah, just seeing if, trying to get Vandy to slip. Maybe he's had a couple of beers that night or something. He's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Because trades are instantaneous, you got to take advantage of your league mates.
Oh, yeah.
God damn it, I'm not on the ball on this one, but what do you have to say about that, Vandy? All right. So you took Mark Andrews there, and I'm sure you heard the news today. I'm going to break that down.
I just read that on Twitter like a half hour ago, so I'm pretty stoked that he got that extension. I'm definitely surprised he fell to the 5th round. Again, I thought somebody else would have taken one of the top 5 one of the top 5 tight ends before the 5th round. I didn't want Miles Sanders. Personally, I just don't really. I've never had a big thing for Miles Sanders in terms of his situation. Henderson was tempting, Davis is tempting, but to have a top 5 tight end, and now that he has a extended $56 million contract, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that you probably saw that, and you're just like, oof, you feel much better. You feel much better about that pick in the 5th round.
Absolutely.
So for me, just from everything I've been hearing about Tyler Lockett, 5th round, for most fantasy analysts and podcasts that I've been listening to, Tyler Lockett in the 5th round is a steal, apparently, and just from, he has got crazy big playability, so to get him as my wide receiver 3 to fill in like my flex is rock solid. So I was pretty happy with that. Sam right after me taking Kyle Pitts, so he's definitely hoping to spend a 5th round pick on Kyle Pitts. I think he's definitely hoping to be like a top 3, I want to say, tight end, especially because with the history of tight ends, they rarely ever break out in the first year, but Sam's taking the chance on him. He's a crazy athlete with no Julio Jones in Atlanta, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, and Kyle Pitts to take all the targets from Matt Ryan. We'll see how that goes. I probably would have waited till maybe 6th round to take him, but we'll see how that goes. Adrian takes Dak Prescott in the 5th. Garrett takes Kareem Hunt. Then we have Miles Gaskin goes to Katie. Kelly getting Cooper Kupp. And Ian, to close out the 5th, gets Damian Harris, starting running back, who is now, I can't remember if Mac Jones was set to be the starter prior to our draft. But either way, Damian Harris there, he's a starting running back for the New England Patriots. Yes, you have James White still there and Ramondre Stevenson, but Damian Harris with Mac Jones as the quarterback, you're not going to have Cam Newton vulturing all of those goal line touchdowns. So Damian Harris there at the end of the 5th is another steal, in my opinion.
For sure.
And then he starts the 7th round and gets Aaron Rodgers. So
it's a good pick. Just completes out his roster. He's got every starting position filled, and he had a pretty good draft from the turn. I'm not happy he's in my division.
Yeah, out of all the teams, well, I'll save that for the end. So round 8, you can break this one down.
Round 8 we go. So Ian, round 8. Remember 7 you mean? Or no?
Yeah.
Oh,
Round
yeah.
6. Getting way ahead of ourselves here.
That was Ian. What did you just say, Ian?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, right on. Yeah, he's good. Go for it.
So he took Rodgers. I think T. Higgins was the first Bengals receiver off the board. So I wonder what Kelly knows that we don't. I don't think that either Boyd or Chase are gone yet. So T. Higgins is definitely who I would have picked too out of that receiving core. I don't know why. I just really like T. Higgins. Jamar Chase, I don't know shit about. Maybe he is going to be absolutely amazing and a star with Joe Burrow again, but NFL's a different story than the college ranks, so I like the T. Higgins pick. Katie securing one of those top tight end spots. TJ Hawkinson, cannot argue that. I think, again, she's filling out most of her starting slots now because she has a quarterback, running back, receiver. Garrett with Melvin Gordon. I thought he may have taken Javonte Williams instead of Gordon, but was Williams gone at this point? No, wow, Williams goes a few picks after. Gordon, I think, will be great for the first 6 to 7 weeks once while Javonte Williams is getting into the offense and getting his rhythm going, because Gordon's contract is over after this year, so Denver should just absolutely run the shit out of him, get every last tread off those tires, and then work in the rookie in the second half of the year. I've noticed last 2 years or so, maybe 3 years, that after the team's bye weeks, if there's a rookie running back on that roster, after the bye is when they just explode. Maybe it was last year was an anomaly because there was Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins. I guess it went the other way for Clyde. I know there's another one I just can't think of right now. So I think for the first 6 weeks, Melvin Gordon should be a top running back, top 10, top 12. Adrian with Marvin Jones, that also surprised me. I wish we could see the draft board so we could see who his players are without having to click elsewhere out of this page, but that surprised me too. Nothing wrong with it at all. Marvin Jones, most experienced receiver on that team. Good safety blanket for Trevor Lawrence, that's for sure. Did Chark go yet in this draft? I don't think so. So I think Marvin Jones actually was the first Jags receiver off the board. I like it. Adrian has a history with Marvin Jones too. I would know because I was kicked out of the playoffs one year because of it. He had a little stack that involved Marvin Jones. Sam taking Justin Herbert. You took Brandon Ayuk. Was that influenced at all by fantasy footballers?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Ayuk.
I don't know enough about the player. I know he's awesome, and I'll never forget that one game that I had Kittle and I was watching, and I saw Ayuk do that touchdown where he like hurdled over the guy so clean. It was sick. But that's all I really know of him. Like, I don't watch him enough to know. So what do you like about him that made you pick him there?
I just like that he's on the 49ers. They have a relatively easy schedule. And it was also just kind of based off of which players were taken just ahead of me. Like, I really wanted T. Higgins. I was really hoping he would fall to me.
Yeah.
Who did I take before that? Tyler Lockett. Like, having Tyler Lockett there in the 5th round, you know, I had to take him. I was also thinking maybe Cooper Kupp in the 5th, but Tyler Lockett, either or. You have Russell Wilson throwing him the ball or Matthew Stafford throwing Cup the ball. So both high-powered offenses trying to stick to that strategy. That's what I like to do. Pick one player from each high-powered offense whenever I can. So I think to get Ayuk in the 6th round there, just based on the other players that I had on my roster, definitely seemed to be the better choice. Now, right after me went Jerry Jeudy. I was also thinking him, but just being on Denver, they might be a little bit better with Teddy Bridgewater. Jerry Jeudy should be pretty fantasy relevant this year. Just based on the hype from fantasy footballers and other fantasy analysts surrounding Brandon Ayuk, I just kind of leaned more Ayuk there.
Yep, I like it. Makes total sense. Jerry Jeudy is one of my favorite dynasty wide receivers. Just the uncertainty with Denver beyond this year. I mean, if it's Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson or whoever, Judy's going to be. I think he's going to be awesome in the future. So that's a great pick by Nolan. I would have taken him had he fallen to me. Taylor takes Javonte Williams, so him and Gordon go in the same round. We'll see who wins that draft pick between the two. I think both will benefit pretty well, and they could even probably pull off being a good committee. Morgan with Odell Beckham Jr. I really wish I could see Morgan's whole team without having to go by team, but I'm going to do it. Oscar Myers Wiener, by the way. Morgan is a great name. Well done on that. So having Odell as a second receiver with DK Metcalf is pretty solid. So again, he just filled out his whole starting roster. He's got 2 running backs, 2 receivers. Russell Wilson doesn't have a tight end yet. Anyway, back to round 6.
My other little comment there again with Adrian's pick, another pretty early reach or deep reach, however you want to call that, with Marvin Jones taking him 6th overall. The draft wizard from Fantasy Pros says Marvin Jones ADP is 135, and Adrian took him 65th overall. So he must have a soft spot for these players for sure. People going ahead of Marvin Jones: Michael Gallup, Curtis Samuel, Mike Williams, Jarvis Landry, Laviska Shenault, Corey Davis, Antonio Brown, Tyler Boyd, Cortland Sutton. So, yeah, and I definitely wouldn't take those players there, but Adrian must have a soft spot for these guys. So
they're gonna have to throw a lot, so he would be the main benefactor, I think, for sure. It's a reach for sure, but could still be a great pick. Time will tell, right? If we knew fantasy football would be so easy. So Morgan takes Odell. I went with Raheem Mostert. I did that because Raheem Mostert, I think at this point, was my flex / a running back, obviously, for my bye week. So I really wanted a piece of the San Fran backfield going into the draft. Like, I really, really wanted one of them. So to get Mostert there, I was surprised. I still had a starting running back on the 49ers at me, or sitting there for me at the end of the 6th round. And then Vandy closes off the 7th with the 6th round with Matthew Stafford, which is a good pick. It's a good quarterback. And that concludes the 6th.
Yeah, and trickle into the 7th. Dave took Chase Claypool there, solid pick, but then you took Trey Sermon. Explain your thoughts there.
Yeah, I didn't plan on doing that, like picking them both, but when I picked Mostert, I wouldn't have picked Claypool because I have Johnson, and then I looked down the list. There's nothing wrong with any of these picks in this round. Personally, I wouldn't have taken a kicker in this round, but Younghoe Koo was like the RB12 if he was a running back last year, so that's ridiculous. Suck up on a good offense, can't argue that either. 2 good receivers on the bottom, but I don't know. I just wanted security because Raheem Mostert has never played more than 8 or 9 games in a season, and he's not really like a workhorse. He gets like 10 or 12 carries and just kills it with those. And Trey Sermon is kind of the 1B to his 1A, maybe somewhere down the season. Trey Sermon will be the 1A and Mostert will be the 1B. Or Mostert gets hurt. I don't know. I just locked down the backfield. Shanahan's running backs in fantasy are always top 5, so bit of security. but a bit of a reach as well maybe. But I'm very excited to have him. I'll just have to be very patient with him on my bench.
Right on. Chase Edmonds goes to Morgan there. Robbie Anderson. I like Morgan's reaction to when he took Odell. He's just like, he didn't want to take him, but he's just finally like, come on, big boy, like make this your year. Bangs the table, like, let's go, man. Probably needed a cigarette after taking that pick. Yeah. But yeah, no, good for him. Hopefully he does something, but we'll see. Kenny Golladay going to Nolan, in the 7th round. As his wide receiver. I'm not sure, probably 3 at this point. Good for him there for sure. Laviska Shenault was my pick there. At this range, at this spot, I was really debating. I was tilting almost, I could say. Like, I didn't know who to take. And I let the clock wind down, and I can't remember who I'm finally going to choose. But it actually auto-picked for me there, and it took Laviska Shenault. But that is because I had Shenault in my list, in my queue. Yeah. So that was the top player in my queue. So I didn't actually plan on taking Laviska there. But now that I kind of look at it and break it down, probably the better pick, I would say, especially with Travis Etienne out for the year. You got James Robinson in the backfield all to himself pretty much, and you'll get Laviska in their second-year wide receiver coming in with running plays, getting some carries, and Trevor Lawrence, at the helm now. So hopefully, Laviska will provide some solid fantasy value as a 7th-round pick. So
they just added Duke Johnson to their practice squad, which sucks because I'm sure he won't stay there for long. So,
practice squad, okay. Sam takes James Conner. Leonard Fournette goes to Adrian. Young Hui Koo. I like the stat you just pulled up. He was, from all the points that he got, you could consider him as an RB12. You said
some of that, yeah, not exactly, but somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, Garrett made all kinds of whack picks, in my opinion. Young Wei Koo in the 7th round.
He also had the best draft grade. He was projected to be 14-1 or something, or he had like an A+ draft grade.
Yeah, that's why this app sucks. But as a 7th round pick, like, come on. Like, I know you have a soft spot for him, but you can wait a round or two, like, I don't like that pick at all, but, I'm not Garrett. And then he must have what's the word? Katie took Ryan Suckup right after, so she's probably like, oh my god, kickers are going off the board now, let's take one. What do you have to say about that, Katie? Oh, hang on, sorry, let me redo that. What do you have to say about that, Katie?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Ryan Suckup, god damn it. God damn you, Garrett. Kelly taking Cortland Sutton. Ian taking Mike Williams. I like that pick to close out the 7th. And then starting, Ian takes Logan Thomas as his tight end, and you can read out the 8th round.
Yeah, Thomas to Ian, and then Kelly took Ronald Jones. I think Fournette went before Jones. That's, I think, a better value to get Jones around later. Nothing wrong with Fournette in the 7th, but I mean, I can't tell a difference between the two. Ronald Jones drops passes a lot, but also gets more carries. But then Fournette also does. I don't know. I can't figure out that backfield, so I just stayed away from it, sort of. But touchdown upside, so can't argue that, especially in the 8th round. Katie took Tom Brady as her second quarterback, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was super pissed at that. I really wanted Brady to come around to
me.
Oh,
yeah.
To the imprisoned image of damaged mind, ravaged by an unforgiving time, expressed divinely by a man of God, but wrapped so timely in the sinews of my aching body's course to travel blindly.
Sorry, that was Nolan just rapping, I think. Yeah. Anyways, I was just saying I don't like Katie for taking that pick, but she likes it apparently.
Oh yeah.
Garrett fills out the remaining part of his roster with the Rams D, so now he can just start working on his bench from there. Adrian, Juju, 89 overall, pretty darn good considering I took Deontay and I think the 6th, and then Claypool went the 7th, so there might be no difference between those three. I mean, who knows? So good value pick by Adrian there. This was who I was hoping would fall to me, was Curtis Samuel. Great pick by Sam. I know he's a little hurt or banged up, but he's a great gadget player, and I think what's his name in Washington, Ron Rivera, will find good ways to use him. He had him in Carolina, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So familiarity. Yeah, I really wanted Samuel, so great pick by Sam. I know you wanted Brady, but Ryan Tannehill at 91, just past Brady. I mean, since Tannehill got the starting job, I'm pretty sure he's the QB 3 or 4, like in the last 2 years or so. I mean, the dude's awesome. I spent a 2nd round pick on a quarterback. You got not a equivalent skill wise, but just great value. And what round is this? The 8th round. So great pick by you. Devonta Smith, I don't know shit about. I really don't know much about the Eagles offense. I know he's a rookie. I think he has a history with Jalen Hurts in Alabama, so hopefully that'll work out. Don't really know who else Philly has. They cut Fulgham. Jeffrey, I don't even know if he's still alive. I have absolutely no idea what's going on with that guy. I don't know who else they have besides Miles Sanders. Jalen Reagor, I don't know. Could be a wide receiver 1 this late in the draft. It's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor taking Philip Lindsay. Personally, I want absolutely nothing to do with Houston. I don't know. There's like 6 running backs on that team. I don't know who made the team, but I think at least 4 or 5 of them did. So I think Lindsay's the most capable of them, since David Johnson's a little old now. But I mean, if you need a running back in a bye week, he's perfect. But I couldn't get excited for him. Surprise, surprise! Morgan takes Corey Davis, who I was eyeing and wanted so badly. Morgan takes him right before me. Great pick at 94 in the 8th round to get a cleared wide receiver run on a team. I took my consolation prize, which was Antonio Brown. I personally think getting him in the 8th round at 95 overall, rather than spending a 4th or a 5th round pick on Godwin, is pretty damn good. I think he had a 20% target share when he started in Tampa Bay to the Super Bowl. I don't think Evans or Godwin had much more than that. Obviously, Brown and Brady have some sort of a bromance going on, so pretty happy I had Antonio Brown there. He was my wide receiver 2, which isn't ideal, but high upside, pretty reasonable floor, I think, so I was happy with that. And then Vandy closed out the 8th round with Robert Tonyan, who again, since Rodgers is back, could be a great pick, because I think he was a top 5 tight end last year, so they didn't add anybody. The Randall Cobb. I guess they added Randall Cobb, but still, great pick by Vandy.
Yeah, Robert Tonyan ended up tight end 3, I think, overall.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, behind Waller and Kelsey.
Wow.
All right, round 9, Michael Gallup to David. You took Michael Thomas there. I think that's a pretty decent pick. I mean, in my opinion, I don't like the clogging of the roster spot, but
hate it.
You're just gonna have that for, I don't know, 7 or 8 weeks or something like that. What's your thoughts there?
I didn't want to do it. I played this game last year with AJ Green, and it cost me a bench spot for like 11 weeks till I finally just cut him. Thomas, I think, will be back week 7. Like, I think they could have kept him off the pup, but then they'd be answering questions every week about him, so at least it's not a distraction now. He will hopefully be back. It's 6 weeks, it's not 6 games either, so their bye week in week 6 counts, so he could very well come back for week 7 against the Seahawks, which would be great. And I'm really lacking at wide receivers, so to have Thomas come in, I think I'll do okay for the first half of the year. To have him come in the second half, be my wide receiver 2 behind Johnson or Brown, whoever. Thought it was smart, but then I saw Mecole Hardman go right after, and I was like, fuck, I should have taken Mecole Hardman, because I had Patrick Mahomes. Would have been a fun stack, but yeah, clogging the bench for 6 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, as you said, Mecole Hardman goes right after you. Morgan must know you pretty well.
Yeah.
Taylor taking Noah Fant as his first tight end off the board.
It was a nightmare.
Sorry, what was that, Taylor?
It was a nightmare.
That's what you felt about taking Noah Fant? It was a nightmare?
It was a nightmare.
Okay. Yeah, he says it was a nightmare. Nolan takes Michael.
Yeah. It was a nightmare.
Oh, God. Okay, let's get back. What are we doing again? Nolan took Michael Carter. Okay, yeah, that's okay there. Who else is in there? Tevin Coleman. Is it Ty Montgomery too? Yeah, I can't remember.
Johnson.
Ty Johnson. Okay, so Michael Carter coming in as the rookie there. So, you know, he's probably going to be part of a committee, but if he shows out, he might be able to take more of the Lions' share of the carries in that backfield. We'll see how the Jets do. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. Zach Wilson, the new quarterback, second overall pick in the rookie draft this year. I think he's going to turn some heads and surprise a lot of people. So that's definitely a team to watch. I ended up with Tyler Higbee, who I was definitely eyeing. He's really the only tight end that I would have taken this late to get him on that high-powered offense with Matthew Stafford and among everyone else. I think pretty confident in that pick there. Sam takes Tyler Boyd right after me. Adrian goes for Gerald Everett.
That could be a great pick too.
Tight end for Seattle. Garrett goes with Kenyon Drake this late in the draft. Actually, this might be Drake territory anyways. So, yeah, no comment there. DJ Chark to Katie, potential wide receiver 1 this late for brand new shiny toy and Trevor Lawrence. I think that's a great pick for her. Elijah Moore, rookie wide receiver for New York Jets, goes to Kelly. And then somebody that I was eyeing, Michael Pittman for Ian to close out the 9th. And then we'll go into the 10th and you can talk about it.
All right. Singletary gets taken by Ian. I'm not sure if Moss is gone yet, but again, starting running back in the 10th round. Hell yeah. Kelly takes your handcuffed Tony Pollard in the 10th round. Were you considering taking him at any point since you had Zeke?
No. Even in a bunch of mock drafts, I was never considering taking those high quality, high upside backups.
Even if you have the starter on your team?
Even if I have the starter on my team, yeah, because I don't know. Again, clogging a bench spot, I might not actually use them, and it's I could always try to trade for them too, if I'm really desperate. But yeah, I think just the way I'm going to be playing it for the next few years. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but drafting high upside backups is not my priority this late in drafts anymore.
It's not like Zeke's ever hurt anyway. I don't think the guy's ever been hurt in his life, so
yeah.
Still a good pick by Kelly, though. Knock on wood, yeah. Katie takes Bucks D. Garrett, this could be a great pick. Will Fuller. I'm not really sure who Tua's favorite target is, so if Waddle's not up to par, Fuller could be awesome. Debo Samuel in the 10th round. Holy shit! I didn't realize that. To Adrian. Wow, that's crazy. Sam takes Justin Tucker, locks down a good kicker. You took a great sleeper pick in Marquez Callaway. Could be amazing for the first 6 weeks and put a serious dent in Michael Thomas's target share when he comes back. I was hoping that Mooney would fall to me, but obviously Nolan, Fiend, took Darnell Mooney. Great pick there. Vanny takes his second quarterback in Joe Burrow. Oh, that's Taylor. God damn it, Taylor. Taylor takes Joe Burrow. I'm not sure if that's his second quarterback. I can't remember. Jamar again. Fucking Morgan takes Jamar Chase, who I was just ready to draft, but nope. So again, the consolation was Russell Gage, which I'm definitely cool with there. I think he'll do some damage in Atlanta with no Julio Jones. He was good when Julio was there, so he should be just as good, if not better, when he's gone, even though Kyle Pitts is there, whatever. And then Vandy takes the Steelers defense to close out round 10.
If you had Russell Gage or Darnell Mooney available to you at that pick, who would you have taken?
I would take Darnell Mooney because if Fields takes over, I just feel like the sky's the limit for Darnell Mooney if Fields is the quarterback. Whereas I know Matt Ryan's the quarterback. There's another target monster potentially in Kyle Pitts. So definitely would have preferred Mooney.
Well, this is what Nolan had to say about taking Darnell Mooney.
Melting to the imprisoned image of a damaged mind, ravaged by an unforgiving time, expressed divinely by a man, not a god, but wrapped so timely in the sinews of my aching body's course to travel blindly.
Thanks, Nolan.
Well said.
Pittsburgh Steelers, as you mentioned, to close out the 10th. All right, Tyler Bass. I fucking knew it. I was gonna take Tyler Bass in our prediction draft, but Harrison Butker and Bass both got taken like a couple spots before I could take him as Vandy. Yeah, I know he's got a soft spot for a few players, but wasn't able to do it. So I'll count that one as a prediction, though.
For sure.
Jarvis Landry for you there. How do you feel about that one?
Just helps out my not amazing receiver group. Good bye week fill in. I think Baker likes him a lot. I don't know if OBJ will be great or not, but might just feel like Landry's just safe bye fill in if I need him.
Right on. Morgan takes Washington football team. I think it's the number 1 rated defense in the league, I want to say, or one of them.
Probably.
Good for him there. And then Dave's imposter Vandy, or Taylor, takes Harrison Butker. Friggin' Taylor, man.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. Fuck you. Jalen Waddle for Nolan. Who was the other rookie? He took Devonta Smith. Was it Devonta Smith that he took?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then Jalen, I think he's got a few rookie wide receivers, on his team. So hopefully they break out for him, or they're just tradable pieces. I'm gonna go after some of them for sure. I took Jamal Williams there, kind of as a desperation pick because I definitely needed depth at running back. Yeah, looking at J.D. McKissick right after, I probably could have taken him, especially to back up Antonio Gibson, but wasn't really thinking there. Adrian took Marquise Brown. I wanted to mention the Deebo Samuel pick for Adrian. That kind of makes up for his deeper reaches, I think. Yeah, to get Deebo Samuel in the 10th round is pretty crazy. I'll come back to that once I kind of find his ADP. Takes Marquise Brown there. I had a bold prediction for Marquise Brown in our the ones that we were writing on those little cards there. So we'll see what that says at the end of the year. J.K. Dobbins for Garrett. Another garbage pick for Garrett. J.K. Dobbins being hurt, he didn't know, but that's sometimes you get guys like that in our league. No offense, Garrett, but that was just a crap pick.
NFL.com should have some sort of aid or fucking something, like when you're drafting,
yes.
Just looking at a player, should be like a health sign next to it or something.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, Garrett, I shouldn't be so hard on you. Actually, yes, I should. I want to be hard in you. Okay, moving on. Zach Moss for the accountant, Katie. Miami Dolphins for Kelly and Cole Kmet. Second-year tight end for Ian to close out the 11th. So while I look for Deebo Samuel's ADP, you can break down the 12th round.
All right, start the 12th was Ian. This was a team I actually might have picked here, was the 49ers. I really wanted them because they play Detroit week 1, and I just think they're going to embarrass Jared Goff and get a whole bunch of points. So great pick by Ian. Thankfully I'm not playing in week 1. I think it is Taylor, so suck it, Taylor. Will Lutz, first year in I don't know how long, Will Lutz will not be on your team. Kelly takes him. Although he's hurt, I think, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
he's on
hurt,
IR. Oh, shit.
and
Damn.
He's on IR, so that's why I wasn't too heartbroken when I saw that. Actually, I'm kind of happy because that leaves more picks for me,
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
and for the rest of the league when
Absolutely.
people make picks like that. So
Yep.
it happens every year. You just got to live and learn.
Yeah, no, for sure. Cole Beasley could be a great pick by Katie. I'm not sure if Gabriel Davis will be as dope as he's supposed to be as a sleeper pick, but Beasley last year, if he does that again in the 12th round, wow, that would be awesome to get.
So
Lots of Parker to
easy.
Garrett. Again, don't know much about the connection with him and Tua. I don't remember it last year at all, but again, high upside. Adrian takes David Johnson, good running back fill-in for a bye week. Sam took Buffalo D. You took Ravens D. Is there a reason why you took the Ravens D there? Just to get a good defense, or is there a schedule early on you like, or?
Yeah, and early, I think they play. Oh my god, I can't even see. Yeah, they play Las Vegas. I think the first week. My opponent in the first week is Morgan, who has Darren Waller. So we'll see if that matchup. That's going to be a Monday nighter too.
Right,
So
oh, yeah. That's awesome.
but yeah, just to have that solid defense. I probably won't play them against Kansas City week 2, but then they have Detroit and Denver, 3 and 4. So kind of just looking for that kind of high upside defense streaming possibility.
Yeah, they were my pick if the 49ers didn't go, so I was eyeing the Ravens, waiting for them to come to me at 143, but they didn't. Good pick. Nolan gets his tight end, Dallas Goedert, with Jalen Hurts being a mobile quarterback and checking down a lot to tight ends and running backs. That could be a great pick if Zach Ertz would just fuck off or get traded somewhere. A.J. Dillon to Taylor. Good pick there. Jacoby Myers again. Morgan took my pick, and Jacoby Myers would have been a great fill-in receiver to have, even a starting receiver. So I think the snipe counts at 4 with Morgan on me in this draft. So that was a great pick by him, hence his name as well. So since he did that, I took Alexander Madison. I know we just talked about not drafting handcuffs, but I swear to God, every game Dalvin Cook dies for a play and goes off, and you think his season's over, then he comes back on, he's fine. I just don't want the stress or the blood pressure to escalate too high up. So I got my safety blanket, Alexander Madison. Cook goes down. I don't have the same level of production, obviously, but I'm not spending all my fab trying to get Alexander Madison or trading for him. And Vandy took Naeem Hines to close the round, which I just read they want to get him more involved. So he's a great gadget player. He'll have those weeks where he gets 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns and a bunch of receiving yards. So that could be a good pick too. And that's the 12th.
Yeah, then he fumbled around a little bit, trying to take, what was it? Whatever. Just every time there's a turn for him, he's just saying things like, "What is that?" Yeah, Vandy, come on, get your shit straight. You got to remember that you take 2 picks in a row, right, bud? So I definitely like the Jacoby Myers pick there. Yeah, top receiver should be for now the starter Mac Jones. You know, that's I think that's a steal this late in the draft for Morgan. So you took Jalen Hurts there. Explain that a little bit.
I was
pretty late, right, for him.
Fuck yeah. Maybe I'm too high on him, or I just do too much. I'm too much of a fancy junkie. I don't know. Hurts could be this year's. Who was it last year? Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, a late round quarterback that just kills it and finishes as a top 5 quarterback. I think this year could be Jalen Hurts, just with his running. If I had known that he'd fall to me in the 13th round, I mean, I'm not going to say I wouldn't have taken Mahomes, but I probably wouldn't have taken Mahomes. But he could be a great trade piece, or I could just keep him and play him when Mahomes is on a bye. I don't know. We'll see. I thought it was great value, so I took him.
Right on. Yeah, that late. Definitely wouldn't blame you there as your second QB. A little surprised at the Tony Jones pick. I don't know what Morgan knows about Tony Jones. I don't really know much about him. I don't even think I knew who he was. But in his notes here, Jones could be Saints' number 2 running back leading into the regular season, etc., etc. But Latavius Murray's still there. And he was still there on the board for Morgan to take, but he chose Tony Jones instead. So interested to see what goes on with him, especially if Kamara gets hurt, if Tony Jones is going to get utilized.
Yeah.
Taylor taking Gesicki as his tight end. I think that was his first tight end, I want to say. Colts defense for Mr. Nolan. I took Trey Lance as my second quarterback. I definitely think he's going to be the starter very, very soon. And again, 49ers have a pretty easy schedule all year and a pretty juicy fantasy playoffs schedule. So something to look out for there. Trevor Lawrence for Sam's second QB. Good pick there. Jonnu Smith for Adrian. Zach Ertz for Garrett. Right on. That might be his best pick of the draft right there somehow. Randall Cobb for Katie as a Green Bay fan. Henry Ruggs, possible wide receiver 1 for Derek Carr. And then Tua Tagovailoa for Ian to close out the 13th. To start the 14th, Sterling Shepard for Ian, Brian Edwards for Kelly. Wow, she took Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards, both second-year wide receivers. So one of them's going to break out, so whoever does, she'll probably just end up dumping off the guy who doesn't break out. Jalen Rager for Katie. Sorry, go ahead.
That wasn't Taylor's first tight end. Noah Fant is Taylor's first tight end, so Gesicki is his bench tight end.
Right. If only I had the draft board, we'd be able to see.
If only.
Fucking NFL. What do you think about that, Taylor?
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. All right. Jalen Rager, I was really hoping he would fall to me. Second-year wide receiver for the Eagles, and possible wide receiver number 1 target for Jalen Hurts. He's a supreme talent, in my opinion. I definitely think he could be fantasy relevant this year, and it's a steal this late in the draft. Tevin Coleman for Garrett. Again, I don't know, Garrett. What are you doing, man? I guess you can pick anybody this late.
Starting
Kirk
running
Cousins
back.
for Adrian. Hey?
It's the starting running back for now for the Jets.
Yeah. I think it's still going to be a 3-headed committee there. It's not enough to be fantasy relevant, I don't think. But
14th
Tevin
man.
Coleman is going to be playing with, I think, Robert Saleh, who was the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. Tevin Coleman played for the 49ers. Did he play for the 49ers? I believe so.
Yeah, last 2 years.
So maybe there's some chemistry there. So we'll see. Kirk Cousins for Adrian, Malcolm Brown for Sam. I took Amon-Ra St. Brown there. I'm just trying to, throw a dart at this point, getting one of the wide receivers for Detroit. None of them went off the board there. When you think Jared Goff, he was able to support Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, even though he was kind of a crappy quarterback, he still should be able to support at least one guy. Maybe, not just TJ Hawkinson, but throw in a wide receiver there and see. So this is just a dart throw for Amon-Ra St. Brown, rookie wide receiver. Justin Fields goes to Nolan. Gabe Davis goes to Taylor. Sony Michel, I definitely wanted Sony Michel as a late round running back, but Morgan snatched him up. He just got signed with the Rams.
Guess who he picked in front of?
Hey?
I said, guess who Morgan picked in front of?
He picked in front of you. Did you want Sony Michel too?
I wanted Michelle more than Bernard, yeah.
Yeah, Bernard's not a bad pick there either, but crowded backfield again there in Tampa. You got Fournette, Jones. I think Keyshawn Vaughn is still there. Gio Bernard.
I just pictured Bernard having James White's role a few years ago where he was awesome. That's just why I picked him. High upside receiver.
And then Derek Carr to close out, number 14. So we're going into the 15th round, super deep at this point. We got 2 rounds left. Why don't you go ahead and read this one.
Manny takes Austin Hooper. I don't think that was his first tight end. I don't remember who the first one was, though. I took McKinnon. I took McKinnon because I always liked Jarek McKinnon. He could be... Apparently he's been a great pass catcher on third downs in camp. I think he could get that role. That'd be a great role to have on the Chiefs. High upside. If anything happens to Clyde, I think McKinnon could take over for him over Darrell Williams. So not so much a handcuff. Maybe he'll be active in the team. Who knows? But at this point, I didn't really get excited about anybody else. So I thought, fuck it, I'll take McKinnon. And then Morgan takes Kenneth Gainwell, rookie out of the Eagles backfield. Taylor takes the Patriots D. I didn't know this, but Gilmore is out for the first 6 weeks, so that's a huge hit to their D. Nolan takes his first quarterback, I believe. Or no, sorry. He took Fields last round, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so his first starting quarterback, I guess, for the first few weeks, at least, will be Winston. You took Murray, which was a good pick. I would have done the same. Sam took Evan Ingram. I think Ingram's not playing week 1, but Sam has Kyle Pitts, so who cares? Adrian took the Chiefs D. Garrett took a nice rookie receiver and Terrace Marshall. Katie took Le'Veon Bell. Looks like he might be going to the Ravens, so he might have some relevance. Kelly closes out the round with... Oh no, sorry, there's another pick. Oh, Ian, fuck. Kelly took Rashad Penny, and then Ian took Carlos Hyde. Yeah, cool. A little RB depth for them both. That's that.
And I like Ian's last pick in AJ Green. Good
Yeah.
for him there. Darrington Evans goes to Kelly. Rob Gronkowski to Katie. Fitzpatrick to Garrett. He's got to love him. Mason Crosby to Adrian. Tyson Williams to Sam, who could be getting a lot more work behind Gus Edwards.
Sam told me he
Justice
took
Hill
him just
is
to get his
also hurt.
name off the board. He was just sick of looking at his name because no one was picking him.
Oh, well, it could do some wondrous things. Rondale Moore for me. Again, just kind of shooting at dart throws there. You got AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and Rondale Moore. So he'll probably just be. I think I even might have already dropped him. Chuba Hubbard. He's out of Edmonton, Alberta, I
Really?
think. So nice to have a Canadian there. Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Nelson Aguilar for Taylor, Rodrigo Blankenship for Morgan, Jason Sanders for you, Matt Ryan for David. And that was our draft.
It's one more round. You can't
One more
forget the 17th round, man.
Oh my god. Okay, well, let's just blast through this one. David takes the Cardinals D. He probably was fumbling his phone at that point. Isn't that right, Mandy?
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
Okay. Darrell Williams for Morgan, Christian Kirk for Taylor, Cairo Santos for Nolan, McManus for me as my kicker, so no more Lutz for me this year. Campbell Chunky Chicken Soup for Sam, Marlon Mack for Adrian, Ramondre Stevenson for Garrett, Jamison Crowder for Katie, Baker Mayfield for Kelly, and Greg Zerline for Ian. Did I say you? I don't think I said you. You took the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right on. So, out of all of our teams in this league, which one is your favorite? Or which one do you like the most, other than yours?
I should have prepared for this.
Well, I can start,
Alright.
just to let you think about it if
Yeah,
you
do
want.
it.
I was definitely looking at Ian's. It was between Ian and yeah, maybe it was just Ian. I think he just has like a pretty sneaky good team, especially for being the 12th pick in the draft. You know, getting Barkley and DeAndre Hopkins, Aaron Rodgers, like holy smokes. You know, DeAndre Swift is the kind of, but that's like a good compliment to Barkley. But Hopkins and Woods, Damian Harris, 49ers D. I really like that. Greg Zuerlein, monster of a leg for the Dallas Cowboys. They should put up a lot of points, including Zuerlein. Logan Thomas, not a top tight end, but still will make a difference in that Washington offense. I really like how Ian's team kind of just shaped out throughout the draft. Every pick he was making, I was pretty jealous that he was getting those at those spots in the draft.
Yep, makes sense. I'm torn between two. Everyone seems to have a good team. Like, I can't find one team that I'm just like, ugh, I don't want. But ones that stand out, I like Taylor's team. I think Taylor had a good draft. He has just Derrick Henry. Obviously, that's as safe as they come. Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson are his receivers. His flex is Julio Jones. Javonte Williams is on his bench. Is the only thing I don't like as much about his team is the depth. He has depth. What am I talking about? Yeah, I like Taylor's team. Joe Burrow, I'm not crazy about. He has a pretty, well, not the worst schedule actually. It's pretty good. Yeah, Joe Burrow could be awesome. It was tough between. Sorry, I can't speak right now. It was between Taylor and I think it was Nolan. What's Nolan's team? I'm good. If Justin Fields comes in to Chicago and starts and is as good as he's supposed to be, then I think Nolan has the best team. But it's so tough this early. I'm going to say Taylor. I like Taylor's team the most.
Taylor's? Okay, right on. I'm looking at your team, at your matchup against Sam, and he's got, on his bench, he's got Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, James Conner, Curtis Samuel, Chris Carson, Jonathan Taylor, and he's got all his bench players in his starting lineup. So maybe as commissioner, you should just freeze his roster.
Yeah.
Until after week 1.
Karma would get me and I would
lose.
A little bit. He'd still beat me somehow. Or I'd have a serious injury happen. I can't have that.
Always likes to fuck around. Yeah. Right on. Well, that was another good one. So we'll keep in touch, keep coming up with more ideas, and our friends, if you're listening to this, you know who you are. Just throw us some feedback, see what you like.
Pick a name for us.
Yeah, pick a name for our little podcast channel / what did I say? Adult vlog for millennial men, whatever you want to call it. Just throw some ideas at us, tell us what we're doing right, tell us what we're doing wrong, and love to hear your feedback. So thanks, friends, and we hate you as well.
This is a dangerous group.